In a gas station, a dump truck suddenly plowed through the forecourt, crashing into and running over a fuel pump as customers and staff were going about their normal day. The uncontrolled vehicle tore through the station in seconds, sending people scrambling for safety as the damaged pump sparked fears of fire or explosion. What should have been a routine stop instantly turned into a high-risk emergency situation. This incident highlights the extreme dangers of vehicle intrusions into fuel stations. Protective bollards and reinforced barriers must be installed around pumps, and traffic flow near stations should be strictly controlled. In the back of a large grocery store, a forklift suddenly toppled over while reversing at speed with its forks fully raised, nearly crushing the operator beneath it. After hitting a bump, the unstable machine tipped violently. What began as a careless maneuver instantly turned into a near-fatal rollover. This incident highlights the dangers of improper forklift operation. Forks must always be kept low while traveling, speeds controlled, and uneven surfaces avoided. Operators should be trained to remain seated with seat belts fastened during tip-overs, and facilities must maintain smooth travel surfaces to prevent catastrophic rollovers. In a car park, a man pushing his motorcycle was nearly crushed when a car on an automatic lifting platform suddenly moved forward and fell toward him. The vehicle moved and dropped without warning, forcing the man to roll backward at the last second to escape being pinned beneath it, instantly becoming a life-threatening near miss. This incident highlights the dangers of working or walking near raised vehicles. Lifting platforms must be secured, locked, and clearly marked when in use. No pedestrians should be allowed beneath or near elevated cars, and regular inspections and safety interlocks are essential to prevent unexpected vehicle movement. In a courier hub, an overloaded tail lift suddenly failed while workers were stacking boxes on a pallet board, causing one worker to fall to the ground as the pallet jack and packages collapsed on top of him. The lift dropped without warning, turning a routine loading task into a serious accident as coworkers rushed in to pull the load off him. This incident highlights the dangers of overloading tail lifts and improper load distribution. Tail lifts must never exceed rated capacity. Loads should be evenly balanced, and workers should never stand on lifts during movement. Regular equipment inspections and proper loading procedures are critical to preventing crushing and fall injuries. Outside a school, a maintenance worker changing light bulbs was suddenly thrown off balance when the light pole he had leaned his ladder against tipped backward and leaned toward a nearby building. The ladder followed the movement, sending the worker sliding and eventually dropping into the bushes below. What should have been a simple maintenance task instantly turned into a fall incident. This incident highlights the risks of using unstable structures as ladder supports. Ladders must only be placed on solid, fixed surfaces and properly secured. Light poles should never be used for support, and alternative access equipment, such as lift platforms, should be used to prevent falls. In a high-rise construction site, a crane carrying long bundles of rebar suddenly swung rogue through an active work area, striking two workers over several seconds. The moving steel bars knocked workers off balance and caused minor injuries as some scrambled to get out of the way. This incident highlights the risks of poor load control and inadequate exclusion zones during crane operations. Long materials must be properly secured and guided, swing paths clearly established, and workers kept well clear of moving loads. Effective signaling, spotters, and strict lifting procedures are essential to prevent strike injuries on construction sites. In a transformer factory, a worker was suddenly injured when a heavy metal disc slipped and fell directly onto his foot, crushing his toes and making him skip and jump up in extreme pain. The impact happened in an instant, turning a simple material handling task into a serious injury that can permanently impair the worker. This incident highlights the dangers of handling heavy components without proper controls. Heavy parts must be secured before movement, and workers should use mechanical aids instead of manual handling. Steel-toe footwear, clear hand placement, and controlled lifting procedures are essential to prevent crushing injuries in industrial environments. In a quarry site, a child walking alone near the exitway was suddenly struck by an 8-wheeled dump truck and run over twice as the vehicle continued moving. The massive truck rolled over him without stopping, as the driver did not notice such a small person. Against all odds, the child managed to get back up moments later. No one but the CCTV was able to see what happened. This incident highlights the critical dangers of allowing unauthorized pedestrians, especially children, in active quarry areas. Strict access control, physical barriers, spotters, and clear traffic management plans are essential to prevent devastating vehicle-pedestrian collisions in industrial sites. In a mall escalator, a mother carrying her toddler stumbled as she stepped on, losing balance and accidentally launching the child over the side of the escalator to the level below. In panic, another mother rushed to help, but in doing so, she momentarily forgot her own toddler beside her. The second child slipped onto the moving escalator steps and was carried downward while lying on them. What began as a routine descent instantly escalated into a terrifying double emergency. This incident highlights the risks of escalators for young children. Toddlers should be held securely, strollers avoided, and elevators used whenever possible. Immediate emergency stop access and public awareness are critical to prevent serious injuries. In a delivery hub, a maneuvering forklift suddenly reversed into a supervisor walking away, fully running him over before anyone could react. The heavy machine pinned him to the ground as nearby workers shouted and rushed in, quickly attempting to lift and push the forklift off to free him. What should have been a routine movement inside the facility instantly became a severe workplace emergency, leaving the area in shock and chaos. This incident highlights the deadly risks of poor visibility and uncontrolled forklift movements. Clear pedestrian zones, strict speed limits, audible reverse alarms, and constant situational awareness are essential. In a mining site, a worker climbed inside a crusher hopper to remove a stuck rock, only for the machine to suddenly activate. A massive rock pushed him into the crusher, slowly crushing him while coworkers were unable to stop the machine. What began as a routine rock clearance instantly turned into a fatal entanglement and traumatic crushing accident for the workers to remember. This incident highlights the extreme dangers of entering active heavy machinery. Crushers must be fully locked out and powered down before any maintenance or obstruction removal. Strict lockout-tagout procedures, clear safety zones, and emergency stop protocols are essential to prevent deadly crushing accidents in mining operations. In a metal sheet warehouse, a worker hooking a roll of sheet metal onto an overhead crane was suddenly pinned to the ground when the roll tipped and fell on him. A passing coworker immediately called for help, and several workers rushed to lift the heavy roll off, but it took significant effort and time. By that time, the pinned worker's legs had been severely crushed. This incident highlights the dangers of unsecured loads and working under suspended materials. Heavy rolls must be properly stabilized and rigged before lifting, and workers should never position themselves beneath unsecured loads. Proper lifting equipment, spotters, and strict adherence to safe handling procedures are essential to prevent fatal crushing injuries.